All right, is it recording? Yep. All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the special board of selectmen meeting for the, what is it, 26th? 27th. We're doing this all week long. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we are going to be deliberating the budget after we've listened to approximately, a week or so of input from the department heads. You have two documents in front of you. This one, which I'll hold up, a single-page document, is a summary of budget, current budget versus requested budget by major code. I'm sorry, it's this one. It starts out with account name, general government, public safety, health and social services, public works, debt, library, board of ed, and board of ed maintenance. So you can see, just so you know what the terminology is, going from left to right, you can see 2017 actual, 2018 actual, 2019 approved budget. Where it says requested adjustment, that is the increase that's being requested over the prior year. So it's a little confusing. It doesn't have the other sheet has the full number that's requested. And then it has adjustments shown, and we'll go through that on a department basis. The 2-page form shows all of the sub-departments, starting with 100 selectmen and ending with 460 Board of Education. Again, the 2019 budget is shown. The column that's labeled requested is the raw requests that came from each of the departments. Where it says requested adjustment really just means this is the increase. I would say increase or decrease. There are actually a couple that decrease from the prior year, but that is the change from the prior year, the delta. Where it says MK adjust, MKADJ, this is my recommendation. And this is based on conversations that I've had with the comptroller and the deputy comptroller over the past few days. The one thing that I did not do, and I would like to start actually, instead of making them wait till the end of the day, is start with Board of Education and 450 and 460. Because we really hadn't gotten all the way through this by the time that we printed this today. So let me give you a little bit of a preamble. The requested budget, quite honestly, is kind of breathtaking. It is a $4.6 million change from last year's approved budget. And we didn't count the numbers. What would that translate to in its raw form in terms of a change in the mill rate?
Probably 2.5, maybe 2 1/4.
Yeah, so
Mill is about $2 million now.
Right. Now I had recommended up to the point that we got to Board of Ed, 256,000, a little bit more than 256,000 reductions, which we'll go through, and that brings the total budget request at this point down to $79,020,516. But I would like to open the discussion with 450. And actually at this point, I think that reflects at this point we have a 5.85% increase in the total budget, which is obviously higher than we would like, and the largest issue being debt, which is a 32.5% increase over the prior year. Bob, can you tell me at the 5.5% increase, what, considering revenue, what would the mill rate be at that level, and the change in the mill rate?
I think we were looking at probably somewhere around 3.8 or 3.8% increase. Brad, what was that number? Do you have it on the screen?
It's not on there. If you write 3.8% increase, and basically 3.8% increase in taxes,
Right.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the 585, Matt, is after your adjustments? Just the requested, it's a 6.19.
6.9.
Yeah.
Right.
6.19 number, it's an estimated increase in the mill rate of 3.67%.
3.67%.
No, but that's what I can. Yeah, if you need to see it, just let me know, 'cause I can't do this.
Well, to open the discussion, and I'm gonna have to, I did have a conversation with Terry and Christine today. I'm gonna put a motion on the floor that we reduce line 450 by 200,000.
Second for discussion.
Is there a second? Okay. So we motion on the floor to reduce 450 by 200,000.
Which brings it down to 44,000, 44 million rather.
Be 46,465,473.
Right. 465, 473.
Apparently you had a conversation with Matt about that, and you feel you can live with that?
Well, I mean, as we spoke on the phone, I mean, it's gonna impact programs. I guess the conundrum we're in is that some of the new positions that we included, and I think we explained why.
Oh, yeah.
They're state mandated, and so we have to move forward with them. And so the net impact is likely going to be on non-mandated programs. So we're gonna have to take a serious look at extracurriculars, those types of things, to be able to make it work. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if you wanna add anything, Terry.
I mean, to say there's no room for a reduction would not be, you know, there's always, because things always change and we could always look. 200 will be tough.
It will.
Do you anticipate this year returning any money to the general fund?
This year?
Not really.
Not really.
No. Well, I know in prior years you have, so that's why I would just.
Well,
yeah.
we've always returned something because we have never been in the red.
Correct.
But special ed costs are really up this year. Facilities costs have really been up this year, and I've been shifting from place to place. So I'm not concerned about
Yeah.
getting to the end of the year, but I don't see us returning any large amount of funds back.
And we do understand, I just want to say, we do understand the bigger problem. I mean,
Yes.
we 100% understand it. You know, we've talked to Mr. Manfreda, we understand the impact of the debt load, everything that's happening on the town side, and then our challenges. So we do understand the complexity of it. And so we'll obviously have to go back to the Board of Ed and talk to them about, because it'll ultimately be their decision, you know, with our recommendations, but looking at different things. But it's gonna be tough, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'll just chime in right here. I just looked at that raw number here, that's what you saw me gulp here. I can tell you, if we sit the way we are, this is gonna be a multiple referendum year.
Agreed.
And we have to avoid that, because I'm always of the opinion that first budget is probably the best budget.
And I 100% agree with
At
you.
least of all the budgets, but I'm sort of stymied here, I'll be perfectly honest. I think just about, I approached Matt, said, you know, maybe we should just go across the board on every account and say we have to reduce everything, because it's not, I think I've got a pretty good idea of what's palatable to this community, and right now it's not palatable. We're gonna have to really do some cutting. There's no way around it. I think this is a good start for Board of Ed. I wish we didn't have to do it, but given everything what's happening with the, you know, the police station, the the schools, the idea about getting rid of short-term bonding, and what's saleable to this community. That's my concern, but let's see how this all rolls out at this stage.
I would suggest that we identify how much is related to taking the debt for the schools, because it always works this way in Connecticut. You get out, you push to get a referendum passed, it gets passed.
Yeah.
And then it comes time to actually do the project, and you basically have to get a referendum passed a
Again.
second time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
So,
when they pass the referendum, they're not.
They forget.
They
Yeah,
don't.
they're not paying for it at
They
that
don't,
point.
they don't pay for it at that point. So, school systems in Connecticut forever have known that you basically have to pass the referendum twice. So I think by identifying to the taxpayers, this was the project you approved, so that, this is not the normal increase in an operating budget that you would regularly see, but this
Right.
piece of it is related to, specifically to the project that was passed a couple of years ago. That would make it easier for, I know, at least our parents to understand, because if
Mhm.
they were supportive of the project at that original point in time, this is, this is the effect now hitting.
Mhm.
And I think that's part of a bigger information push
Mhm.
later, regardless of what you do.
Right.
Right.
At the end of tonight, and when we go to the Board of Finance, and after that, I think we have to remind people, to Terry's point.
Yeah.
Regardless of where we land,
Right.
it has to be very clear.
Right.
Because it's not a spending spree that you've
No.
gone on.
No.
There are your normal operating increases that we've always been conservative with, and I'm sure the town departments have also.
Mhm.
But you have some very specific, different type of items
Yes.
that are hitting, that were decisions made by the town, but now they're hitting. So
Right.
I think being as clear as we can.
Yeah, I have to compliment you, the Board of Ed. I've attended most of your presentations for the budget, and I can understand, coming from industry, you're pretty thorough about the thing. There's really no so-called any hidden agendas in that budget. But it's unfortunate that what we've got going here, we just got to keep this town affordable. I think that's the fairest way to present it.
Yeah. Well said. So is there any other discussion on that
No.
one? All right, so we have a motion to reduce by 200,000, and that would make the, what was that?
44,660,000.
46.
46,
Four.
465, 473. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. And next I'll put a motion on the floor to approve Board of Education 460 account in the amount as requested, 500,000. Second.
A second for discussion.
Okay.
I would like to amend that. Again, I think we need to take a little bit out, just as to what Paul's reference was, try to spread it amongst everybody. I'd like to make a motion to reduce it by 20,000.
I'll second for discussion. Okay.
I'm gonna push it a little further. I'd like to amend yours, make it for 25. Bob, I think you can handle that.
Do what we need to do, sir.
Well, hopefully with the renovation of the two schools, I did speak to you about it, that we do have to maintain the other part of the schools while they're renovating
Right.
the other parts, but hopefully, that once we get into the renovations, things will work fairly well there. And I think we can rely on our construction manager to help us out if we get into some problems in another area while we're still working there, so.
Hey, I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate a little bit. Dr. Carver and I, Bob and I had discussions over the past couple of weeks, because I had gone into some buildings and found things like a drinking fountain that was covered with a bag. And what has happened, and this is because we've been working it to improve the building maintenance process, and what we're finding is that 460 account is very good at tracking the contracts, like the roofing contracts and the maintenance, the scheduled maintenance, but if things break, they really have very little budget to work with. And then we're left with the situation where it's probably more of a PR problem, but it reflects poorly on the schools. You come in and say, wow, the bag has been on that drinking fountain all year, where they're forced to let some minor things go, and it's minor, but it's visible. So I'm not gonna vote against the motion, but are you sure you wanna do it? Is it, can you, what do you?
Well, we would have to look at the projects that are slated for improvements, and then determine which ones have to be pushed off.
Okay, all right.
I mean, that's ultimately what we'll have to do.
That's right. It's broken into 3 parts anyway. It's
Correct.
the purchase orders, which are supplies the town maintenance guys they're funding, and then the service contracts.
Which we have to keep.
We have to
Right.
do. And then the other one is our building
Improvements.
Building upkeep and the improvements.
Okay.
Just on the sidebar, I have a quick question. Are drinking fountains in the schools a mandatory thing versus, I know at one point they were talking about that because of health issues and stuff, that they might do away with drinking fountains?
So you can't dig it away.
No, you can't do it.
No, okay.
For ADA, I have to have a minimum number in the school. I mean, we have.
Yes.
Well, I know at one point there was some talk about taking away because of
No.
Uh,
We have moved-
sanitizing and
we have
kids,
moved more
getting
towards that.
germs from the
Right.
drinking fountain.
You're
We
doing
have
these
moved
things.
more
Slowly,
towards the.
very slowly.
I know, because they're expensive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but ultimately they're better.
Yeah.
Where you bring
Where
your
it has-
water bottle and it fills it up and.
Yeah.
Where it has the
So-
two
I
different.
was just,
Yeah, we actually have to have it in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
We
Paul,
have
I
to-
won't change my amendment to the 25.
Back off.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to amend.
Account 460 by $20,000.
Okay, all right. Any further discussion?
No.
Okay, so I'll try your minds on the amendment to reduce that by 20,000. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the amount to approve then is 480,000, and I'll put that motion on the floor. There's a second.
Second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. That carries.
Okay.
All right. Not as painless as usual. We got you out of here at the beginning of the night. 7
Yes,
minutes.
no, we appreciate that, thank you very much.
All right,
Matt, are you guys gonna look at capital tonight?
yes.
Oh, do you
wanna
wanna,
look at the Board of Ed capital while
do you
they're
wanna,
here?
yeah, do you wanna talk about that while we're here, or is there any questions about it from your perspective? We have
Usually
to-
we do it at the end, but I didn't know why you had the Board of Ed here.
Remind me what we have in.
Boilers,
The boilers.
the
Boilers.
band uniforms, and the
Resurfacing of
the track.
I think the only thing we recommended leaving in capital was the boilers, correct?
Our workup left in the capital, the boilers and the high school track.
Okay.
And moved the uniforms to possible capital non-recurring.
Move the uniforms to capital non-recurring.
Okay. Did you have any questions? Mr. Manfreda asked me to find out, and I also want to tell you, about how many, he wanted to know how many kids we have in band, and how many uniforms we were actually trying to purchase, and the cost per uniform. And so I checked with our band director to get better numbers. And we have about 63 that are in there now, and he projects between 70 and 75 for next year, because the program has been growing. The issue, we're trying to buy 100 uniforms, which you might say, well, $500 a uniform is crazy, and it is a lot, but remember, these last over 20 years. They're custom made, and we have to buy multiple sizes, because
Yeah.
every year you have
Every year,
different
yeah.
size of kids.
Yeah.
So you have to have like a contingency, and it also includes the hats, the sashes, the gloves, like all the accessories to the uniform. So where the uniform
Feathers.
where the uniform itself might be $300, let's say, that with all the I'm calling them accessories, that's where it comes around that amount. It might be a little less than 50,000.
Because we will bid.
We will bid for it, So, we might be, but we wanted to, I like that as not to exceed number.
Mhm. Okay.
So, okay?
Now, do you have tighter numbers on the boiler, or are we still going with a million?
I do not at this
Okay.
point.
All right. Okay,
So we're saying with the
Do you
boiler-
want us to put it out to bid?
what's that?
What?
Do we wanna go out to bid on it, to find out, get tighter numbers?
Did you want us to do
Well,
some,
we can
I
do
mean,
it.
I.
Well, it won't be done by the time we
Yeah.
got the
Correct.
budget complete.
I gotta tell you, I
Well,
feel
you still
very
have-
It was
confident.
just-
You still have town meeting, I mean, I can't go out
Yeah.
to bid
Well, if you can get a better idea from Bergen on it.
to spend
and
some
I'm-
time actually.
Yeah.
You could get something, budget
Yeah.
number.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll spend some money
Some-
to
yeah.
get some better, tighter numbers.
Okay.
I can do that.
I think that would be helpful.
They gave us an estimate, correct, Sharon?
They did, and we've
But
also.
that was very rough.
Correct.
There's, Connecticut combustion's got nothing to do with it, does it?
Well, we wanna keep them out of it because they potentially could bid on the project.
Okay.
But I will share with you that they have done a lot of the work and they have talked with us about different ideas around replacement. Because they're falling apart, so they're.
They've been our contract for 20
Correct.
years.
I know,
So-
I know.
So they have definitely had input.
And we did have a deep discussion with them because it was between 15 and 20 years ago that the then select person had them come in and said, can we buy 5 more years out of these high school boilers? And to Connecticut Combustion's credit, I think they've bought us 15 to 20 more years. So
Mhm.
we were seeing if there was any more magic left to do that again. But they definitely did their magic. with
Yeah.
But
that
Kai
one.
from Harrigan is very, I think he's really on
He's
top of
very-
his
yeah,
game.
yeah.
He knows what the competitive prices are, he does it for a living.
Okay.
So I'm pretty confident in what he's putting forward.
So, help me here, we're talking boiler, the uniforms are gonna go on,
Captain Overton.
CNR.
okay, what about the track, track is up?
Track we would leave on capital.
Okay.
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 All right, thank you
Right.
very
Thanks,
much.
Rich.
And thank you
Thank you.
for handling us first.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You wanna stay for the rest of the?
Well, we're just like
You don't
you,
need
we're
us.
every night this week, so we really do appreciate that.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so shall we start numerical order? You wanna go in reverse? What do you wanna do this year?
Let's do the library.
Let's do the library. The library's here.
Thank
Library.
you.
Then we can do the tax collector, although I think Ann just likes to.
Come to
she's a
meetings?
Fan of town
Just
government.
in case you have any questions.
All right, library is.
Yeah.
Is 435. On the second
435.
sheet, on the second sheet.
Okay, all right. So that's the number, next number is the second column, because that didn't carry over. I'm gonna put 1920. All right, so, library, I did not recommend any adjustments. I will make a motion that we approve the library account 435 as requested in the amount of $899,492.
Second for discussion.
Okay,
Um,
floor is open.
Again,
Going out, right? Are we going out?
I don't want to keep saying refer to Paul's comment about, spreading.
I was-
Now, we're not spreading the wealth, we're spreading
We're spreading the pain and
the
misery.
pain amongst everybody. I would make a motion to reduce the library board by $2,000.
Okay, second.
And again, you guys do a great job, we just have to spread the pain around a little bit, okay?
All right, any comments?
No.
All right, so on the amendment to reduce by 2,000, those in favor? Aye.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, that carries. So the adjusted amount, in the amount of $897,492, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Not so bad.
Did we have any capital
Wanna do
projects?
hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then Ann is here, so let's jump up to Department 150. And I'll put them, I recommended no changes there because there's really nothing but contractual salaries and
Right.
postage, that's about it. So I'll make a motion that we approve the amount as requested in the amount of, for Department 150, $210,448.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Got Ann here. Can I squeeze at least 500? No?
No, and I'll tell you why, because I know what the state is in and what we're not getting. I did it that already. The postage increase is
I know,
actually
you have no
10%.
control.
And so I only increased it 4%, 2% on both mailing and 10% on the first class mail. I went up 4% to just hedge my bets on the first class. I always turn back in whatever we don't use. And as far as the only other thing that increased was my education budget by $360. I think in 10 years, it's been 360, 380. It's only been probably about a $400 increase over the past 10 years. Most of it's this year because the association, Tax Collectors Association has been funding our classes for us, and they're tapped out. When you fund for 169 towns, not a huge organization, there's just the cost of the facilities to have our courses in and that type of thing. That's it. So, I would ask that you not. I mean, if you wanted to take
Give me a number.
$500 from the postage, I don't know, do you know what I had left over last year?
30,
I think it was
the actual, he can get the actual.
I think it probably was around maybe $2,000 I had left last year, but that was without the increases that we have this year. I mean, the problem for the postage, as I see it, is if I don't have enough, I don't know what happens when we go in the red, because I never went into the red.
You go back and ask for more money.
You know,
Well,
I mean,
what winds
if
up
I.
happening at the
if
end of
I
the year, we do the transfers with the Board of
Right.
Finance.
Right.
All right, there are accounts that may wind up with a surplus, and if yours is in the deficit by $100, that gets offset against the surplus accounts. Overall, we have to be in a surplus situation, otherwise we're in trouble.
Yeah, so
The last month or so, we'd be shutting down expenses if we looked like it was in that
I
position.
mean, I think I've always been a couple thousand in the surplus on the postage. So, I mean, if you wanted to take it away, what I wouldn't want to do is not be put in a position where I could not send delinquent notice, because then that makes our collection rate go down. So I need to have
How
the
about if I amend
ability.
my motion to 250?
I mean, if you want to take 500 or 1,000 out of the postage,
Take the-
because I've been consistently over,
No.
I'm.
You should be good on your office expense and.
All right, it's
What
a
about advertising? You went up from $31.50 to $42.96. What was the reason for the advertising?
Legal
Because that's the
legal
actual
notices.
cost.
Yeah, I know there were
What did I go up?
42.96, I think it is.
Hold on.
From
Yeah, and I
31.50.
actually changed the advertising, in this budget, instead of doing the display ad that we traditionally did, I'm doing just a legal ad in the classified, and that saves a couple $100 each time I do it. You know, the problem is we're quarterly and it's mandatory that I do it 3 times. I can't do it in the penny saver or anything because it's time sensitive.
Mhm. This is for tax sales and things, right?
No, this is for the legal, tax sales stuff, those advertisements are actually paid by the delinquent taxpayer.
Okay.
These advertisements I have to notify people when taxes are due.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to amend the original motion of the tax collector, line 502, office expenses by $500.
Second.
I could live with that. I think the postage is always kind of a guessing game.
Okay. All right, so any other comments, further comments? Okay, hearing none on the amendment to reduce Department 150 line, what is that, 5502?
Yeah, line 502.
502?
That's
by
about-
No,
five-
it's 201.
It's-
5201. Office
So five-
expenses
Isn't that what I
5201.
said?
201.
201.
Yeah, 5201. Is that?
Oh,
what-
5201?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
What did I say?
I don't know.
Okay.
I lost track of it.
It's in the office expenses.
Yeah, that's right.
And primarily it was for postage.
Okay, so 5201, right? Okay. So on the amendment to reduce that by 5201, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries, so that gives us an amended amount of,
209,948.
oh, thank you for that. 209,948. All right, so on the adjusted amount for Department 150 of 209,948, those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Are you
Aye.
ready for
Aye.
capital?
Yeah.
Your capital stuff is all small.
Oh, it's
It's all gonna be moved to capital non-recurring.
Okay,
And
so
you
we're-
requested stuff.
All right,
So we're
you wanna
okay.
do,
Yeah,
Izzy?
there's no point
Izzy
in-
walked
Yeah.
in, or is it-
Okay, no, just.
Izzy, you wanna
thank
stay?
She went to.
Yes, I was just gonna go get my stuff, but hopefully I can remember all the numbers.
Okay, well, if you need to get it. All right, so Department 140.
Thank you.
I'll put a
Yes.
motion on the floor that we
Thank you,
approve as
gentlemen.
recommended at the amount, in the total amount of $229,990.
Second for discussion.
Yep, floor is open.
Paul?
Yes, 500.
Well,
I
You
raised
guys
it.
did practice it.
Raise it.
No, we haven't, but
well,
I'm sorry.
All right.
That's only
what-
because you're here. It would've been a lot more.
I
if you
know.
weren't.
All right, what does, what does 500?
Yeah.
is there anything in your budget that could be reduced?
you know, and I thought about that, and I thought, well, okay, maybe I could reduce on the auditing, but I told you off the 10,000, I made an additional 16,000, so I hate to take away any of my auditing money. If it was not a necessity, that's where we could always take from, but that's one or two less accounts, they're about 900 to 1,100 of each account that I audit. So I would hate to take from there, but if you want to take from that, that's a possibility that we'll get less money in return. The education, again, I really feel very adamant about having the real estate courses, I mean, not the real estate, access to their real estate, that new Northern Fairfield County Realtor Board. I did a chart one time, probably 2 years ago, and just from checking real estate ads with stuff that I could look at, I picked up $16,000 in extra additional money. So for the 250, that's why I didn't have the paper with me, or 245 was this,
And that CAR is
Yes,
250.
250.
CTX is 200.
that's for 250, I made 16,000 on that 1 year. I could do it again this year and just give you an idea, or last year, what we had. And then the tax collector courses are very important. They talk about regionalization. I really have to think it's only mandatory that I do it to help the town in the future,
Mhm.
if I'm ever retires.
I'm going to oppose the amendment because I think that we need to rely on Izzy's department to generate the revenue that we need. And I think the dues and the education is certainly important, and the audits. This has been one of the great successes in the last 10 years, moving the clerk position in that department to full-time and being able to have at least a fully qualified assessor in training
Correct.
to free up the department head's time to do the audits. It has literally benefited the town to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I would have to vote no on this.
I see on that line. What about your postage?
The postage, again, I just don't see what the increase in the postage where I can cut it. It's very hard for me to have an idea of how many things we have to mail. Luckily, with the internet, I can email a lot of things, and that has helped me. Because, like people will call up and they want a field card, or they want
a copy of their certificate showing we did corrections. So I do email quite a bit, which has helped me. But we do have the personal property declarations have to be mailed, the INEs have to be mailed. Those are all things that have to, any kind of increased notices, real estate, personal property, have to be mailed.
Those are things you're currently mailing, but it's the increase in the mailing is what you're really looking for.
Correct. The only thing I
Okay,
could do
all
is
right.
try to budget down our,
Okay. There was no motion to reduce it, was there?
No, there was.
There was, yeah.
Well, did you make?
No,
one?
I just
did you
had-
get a second?
No, I didn't.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
All right, so we're back to.
Can I?
Okay, go ahead.
What, Bob, was there any money returned from that department?
Brad has to look that up. I think there was. There was a surplus there. I'm not sure.
In office expense, she returned $80.
Can I get 50?
yay!
I mean, I'm not
Everybody
sure
for the town.
everybody here.
Overall-
50?
Overall, the account was over
Oh,
in 18.
Oh.
It was
Some of
what?
that was mostly
Over.
in salaries.
It was in
because-
salaries.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you say how much I returned?
No, you don't want me to say how much you returned.
I don't?
They voted on you already.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Just-
Motion on the
I'll look, I'll look
question.
tomorrow. I have it written down, I think it
All right,
was
let's
go.
$1,000.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to approve as requested the amount of $229,990. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Was this? It's on camera, so I think that was an aye, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We go back to the top of the list and work.
You wanna go, okay, all right,
Just so
so.
we can, it'd be easier to.
Okay, so I'll put a motion on the floor, account 100, Selectmen's Office. Did not recommend any adjustments, so I'll put a motion on the floor that we approve in the requested amount of $278,081.
Second.
And change,
Discussion.
okay?
Is there anything?
No, because everything was zero except the salaries, that was it.
We didn't return any money on that account?
No, as a matter of fact, we're probably gonna be
Probably
over a
did.
little bit this year because we,
Okay.
yeah, we.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got postage, you know. and
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
giving up on
Okay.
anybody.
No, I know. Well, that's,
But Paul, I give all mine back.
I know.
Well,
I-
nobody
We don't
takes it.
just spend it, you know?
Okay, so for Department 100, those in favor?
aye.
Aye, that carries. Department 110, Treasurer. There, you already got your $500.
I know.
I'll make a motion that we approve in the requested amount of $5,500.
Second.
Discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Department 120, Finance. I'll make a motion that we approve in the requested amount of $450,238.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Robert,
Yes.
what can we do to reduce?
You wanna take 500?
Yes.
Well, I have to beat up the actuary and the accountant.
Okay.
Reduce his fees,
Okay.
$250
Well,
a piece.
okay.
Okay.
You wanna make that motion?
I'll make that motion to reduce, account 120, okay?
Do you have to do a line?
Yeah, we have to do a line.
What's
Yeah,
the
it's
line?
307, 5307.
Line 5307.
All right. Did you second that?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? On the amendment, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so then the adjusted amount would be,
I didn't turn it on, okay. Yeah. Okay.
449,738.
449,738. Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that carries. Town Clerk, Department 130. I'll put a motion on the floor that we approve in the requested amount of $234,796.
Second for discussion.
Okay.
I don't see where she went up on.
She didn't, it's like it's like a half a point increase. I mean, there's,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a 1%.
yeah.
Salaries.
But, yeah, but she had savings in other areas, so it's a 0.55% change. So I don't see any opportunity to do anything
Does
there.
she have any,
Did she
I'll follow it
return?
up now.
Okay.
wait a minute.
That might be a question to ask on each account.
You don't have the transfers we did in November, did we?
Sorry.
Was that what you handed out the other day?
No, transfers are.
Oh, no, that was only up to date.
Adjustments
yeah.
for the.
Brad, there was no money returned?
He's
He's
looking.
checking that now.
It's coming from the cloud. Hold on, give me a second.
It's cloudy out there too, so, a little cold, it's taking its time.
No snow yet, though.
Yeah.
I don't think. we're-
She returned $8,300. The biggest account that she returned was codifying and microfilming and in election expense.
Well,
You never know what's gonna happen with that.
Yeah.
It could be primaries.
Was microfilming, there was a big amount?
7,000.
Oh, okay. I mean, she's not here.
It takes 500.
Double the amount of.
What's the line? What line number?
That is, I thought that was her for a second. 5305.
5305. Make a motion that we reduce the town clerk's budget line 5305 by $500.
second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Okay, so the adjusted amount would be 231,796, correct? No,
No.
234,
Town
I
clerk.
can't do this in my head.
234,296.
296.
234,296. See, this is, I haven't had anything to eat, that's what's, now I'm gonna watch.
We have some minutes.
I have minutes over here.
Okay, the adjusted amount is 234,296. Any further discussion?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat what was requested initially?
The requested amount was 234,796. The amendment to reduce line 5305 by $500 was approved, so that leaves the adjusted amount 234,296.
Thank you.
Those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that carries. All right, professional services. I'll make a motion that we approve in the requested amount of $256,080, 256080.
Second for discussion.
And I know what you're thinking on this one, but this
Well,
is,
I don't know.
this is a.
Oh, this is the one with the legal where
This is
we always
legal.
go over. No,
Legal.
I wouldn't touch it.
Over 94.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion on that one?
No.
Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Count 170 probate court.
$2.
That's your over?
No, what was the number, final number for professional services?
256080.
That's the one you wanted to put more money in and,
Always over.
yeah. But you always
We always hope
do
for
a
the
transfer
best.
on the end, so.
All right, so probate court, Department 170, make a motion that we approve in the amount of $5,497.
Second.
And there's
No discussion.
no discussion. Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Department 180, building and inspection. I'll make a motion that we approve in the requested amount of $262,460. And
Second for discussion.
And I would just remind you guys that this was the one where there's been a tremendous increase in the workload in this department, and they've had to make allowances for some part-time help to come in, so,
And it's really, it's all in that
yes,
line, I believe.
that's correct. So I don't see any real opportunities to, if we.
Brad,
reduce it.
did they return anything?
They were over. Can I just
Okay.
make one cautionary statement with using whether or not they returned?
Yeah.
Is the department heads may then spend everything that you give them, which we haven't traditionally done.
Yeah.
So, just
Understand.
keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
And that has happened in the past.
Okay, all right, any further discussion on bill, and Department 180?
No.
All right, hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Department 190, IT Department. Make a motion that we approve in the amount of $311,690.
Second for discussion.
Okay, and this.
And we're trying to upgrade things on this. Is that right, Bob?
You know, there really isn't much in the way of upgrades, it's just the salaries. And we have the 20,000 in there for the computers that we change over every year and the servers that we need. But the bulk of it, 185,000 out of the 301, is for the licensing agreements that we have to buy.
Yeah.
I mean, we went through the whole story about the situation we were in back in 2010. You know, you
Yeah.
can't go back to that
Yeah,
anymore.
no, I understand. Is that annual? Is that every year, those
Every year.
licenses?
Yeah, the licenses every
Every
year.
year.
You have the fees for, quality data for the assessor and tax collector. Well, throughout the entire town hall. We consolidated all of the software into this department to try to track it.
Do they have multiple year contracts by any chance? I mean, I'm just thinking of cost savings.
I don't think they do.
No.
I mean, when
All right.
when
Well,
you
I'm just
first
throwing
bring
it out
in
there. No, it's a good
a specific
question.
application, you may get a 2-year sign-on, but after that, then it's a fee every year, and sometimes they stay stagnant, and other times they go up.
Yeah.
What did they return last year?
They returned 24,000. Keep in mind, we've been battling with the permitting software.
Yeah, we had.
We
So we
thought
didn't
that-
buy what we thought we were gonna buy.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna do permitting, so we just left that in for this year because we're switching to a different vendor. For what it's worth,
I think we should make it an even $262,000.
I'm sorry?
Reduce it by $460.
No, IT is 311.
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah, so the request was
I.
$311,690. For what it's worth,
500.
for what it's worth, I think that we actually, to this day, probably spend no more than we did in 2010 and maybe less. Because what they did back then was they hid the costs in all the departments so you
Right,
couldn't
yeah.
see what it was. And we were vastly overpaying for some service because it was all piecemeal. So even though this number looks like it's a big number, I know for a fact that we're paying far less in salaries than we did to the contractor.
Okay.
So it's still a bargain. I would
All right.
actually leave that one alone.
Bob, leave that on this.
What's that?
To leave it?
Yeah, I think so, because there's always something that comes up. Nick will say, he knows the different servers when they expire, but if it looks like we're gonna have a problem 2 years out, we may be able to buy something this year with the money that's left over at the end of the year, or the software, the permitting software, if that comes to fruition, maybe we can get it this year, we can take it out of the current year. So I think you should leave it alone.
Can I just make a comment, just so that you're aware? My office has the closet that houses a good portion of the servers that serve this side of the building and the phone service. And it's incredibly hot. I mean, like hot, like you
They
can't
produce a
believe.
lot of heat.
And I have to leave the door open because it actually gets.
Can damage the server.
Right, well, what's happened is, I know for a fact that we already lost 2 servers because of that. So then, building maintenance came in and looked at trying to put in an air conditioner in that closet so that they could keep it cool. But the cost, I think, was too much, and they ended up not doing it. And Nick and I have talked about alternatives where I'm actually willing to, I can't sacrifice the whole closet, but I'm willing to sacrifice half of it so that he could try to get the stuff not packed solidly against the wall the way it is right now. I mean, if you walked in there and saw it, you'd be like, oh my God. Just stop by any time to look, because you'd probably be appalled. The heat in there is incredible, and the air conditioning, I don't think is going to get done. I don't think they've even put it in, so.
So if we had to put an air conditioner in that room, that would come out of that
We're
IT?
taking out of IT.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just saying
They,
that
I don't know if they looked at a
expenses
split
there.
system, but they could put a split system in there, similar to what they had.
Well, that's the other server in
Yeah,
there.
over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, just an interior wall.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
About,
you'd have to run it further in.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
5,000 should cover something like that, but anyway.
I'm just,
I'm gonna support the motion.
I'm just saying that I saw 2 servers this year because of that, and I always know because they beep. And then I like,
They
follow
beep and
them
they
up.
blink.
There he goes, oh, there goes another one.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you. So, back to the original motion to support Department 190, the amount of $311,690. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Department 200, Social Services. This was actually a reduced request from the prior year. I move that we support in the amount of, approve in the amount of $87,678.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
No.
No.
All right.
Megan's doing a great job, I believe.
Yes, she is. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I agree with that, by the way. Department 210, Town Insurance. Make a motion to take $1 million out. I make a motion that we approve this in the amount of $1,399,999.
Second, for discussion. Why is it the same amount, Bob?
What happened was they came in, they left the property and liability insurance flat. The fireman's liability is about $5,500 a year. That's the life insurance for the volunteers. And the workers' comp, because we're looking at a 5% reduction,
Oh.
but I left it the same because we have increased salaries. And the salaries are going to pick up additional workers' comp. So it's gonna balance itself off, so I left it flat.
Okay.
If I could put a plug in, if you remember last year, we assigned Brad to the position as if he doesn't have enough to do, of risk manager. So we're taking a proactive approach, working with KERMA. They sent experts out to look at our policies and procedures. They followed the park and rec and highway guys around, made suggestions, and we required them to go through training.
No, and actually Park and Rec and the highway department, Brittany takes,
Yeah.
brings up the courses in the kitchen or the lunchroom.
Yeah.
And Eileen will bring in breakfast in here first thing in the morning, and they'll go through different seminars, and then they have sort of like a staff conference.
Mhm.
And talking about what they can do to improve their procedures. So last year, we had a 7.5% reduction, and this year it's 5%.
Mhm.
But our claims history went up a little bit. We had one fellow that got hurt, so, I mean, you couldn't expect the same 7.5. I was surprised we got 5. I thought it was gonna be 0, but, you know, it wound up being a reduction of 5%.
I know I keep on asking you every year, but KERMA is the least expensive one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Well, then we have like a 3-year contract with them? or
Well, we
something?
had 3 years, but we keep extending it with them.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, right now we have 2 more years liability and property at 0%. And the workers' comp, they can't predict out because you don't know if somebody's gonna get hurt, you know? And so they're not gonna take on that risk. But there's 2 other companies, Trident and Travelers. Trident won't bid on workers' comp in Connecticut, and Travelers, the last time we bid with them, they had like a 30% increase in the premium cost. It's like, can't afford that. And that's when we brought in KERMA, and KERMA's been very competitive ever since.
Okay.
all right, any other discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carries. Department 220. All right, I'm gonna go to the bottom of that. We see where it's in bold. The department request, if I got this right, Brad, this is $340,450, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then Now, that's net, correct?
Yeah, so the total request was 340, 450.
That's what he's.
And then you had two adjustments that you wanted to make.
I wanna make sure I've got this. Cause my proposal is to reduce 5215 within 220 by 4,000 and reduce 5217 by 800.
Okay.
All right, well, let me just bring up the raw number. I just wanna make sure I'm doing this right.
Fifteen is police department maintenance, and
Yeah.
17 is BM maintenance. That follow movement?
Hmm? Building maintenance. That's their vehicles, building maintenance.
All right, we'll tell you what, we'll do it, I'll put the full amount on as the first motion, then we'll do two amendments, okay? And then, and if you want more. So my first motion is to approve in the requested amount of $340,450.
Second.
Okay. So then I will make a motion that we reduce line 5215, Police Department Maintenance by 4,000.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
No.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Now I'll make a further amendment that we reduce line 5217 by $800.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Are there any further adjustments?
What is administration maintenance? D-
Matt's car?
5,219.
Matt's car.
Oh, Matt's car.
And then
Department
probably,
head cars and stuff.
what's that?
Department head cars.
Yeah, and that probably includes the van too, the senior center van.
Oh, okay. And that went from $2,400 to $3,600?
Yeah,
So that's $1,200. I make a motion that we take $200 out of that account.
Out of which one?
519.
I'll second that.
Oh, what is that, 5219?
5219.
How much did you say?
200.
200. Okay. Any further discussion?
So it's a total reduction of 5,000.
Oh, so you rounded up, okay.
Well,
Okay, yeah. Those in favor of the amendment?
aye.
Aye, okay, that carries.
And the grand total is,
33,000.
no, 300.
What did I say? 33. I'm sorry.
Hold on a second.
It's 5,000 less. $330,650 is what it'll be.
335450, right?
What'd you say, Matt?
335, 450.
335,450 is the adjusted total.
Right.
Right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Department 230, Public Works. I'm going to make I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna make a motion for the original amount, then we'll make an amendment. I'll make a motion that we approve in the amount of $385,987. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so I would like to amend, I'll put an amendment on the floor to reduce Department 5313, Contracted Services, by $53,500. and this is, Brad, remind me what we're doing there, that's,
So that's two of the new items that,
Oh,
two new
that's right.
items that, Doug had asked for.
What are they?
Well, one of
Just-
them is.
Pavement survey and management system?
Yeah, pavement management and the bridge
Bridge
survey.
inspection, town bridge inspection.
If we decide we wanna do that, that should come out of capital non-recurring, because they're one-time items anyway.
So the grand total for that one is for contracted services?
53.5.
Oh, well, that's the adjustment.
Upstairs.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor for the amendment, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That carries. Are there any further adjustments?
Can you just give me a second?
Sure.
Try to catch up here. Do they ever return any money?
Let me pull up last year's. Last year they were over by
Oh, okay.
20,000. Some of which was office expense, which should have gone to town hall expense. So they're really over by like 12, and most of that was in contracted services, which is right here for engineering services.
Yeah, that's based on history, right?
Yeah.
We need to try to get Ray Pierce's prices down on that.
Well,
Okay.
you know that most of their charges were for one contractor.
Yeah. All right, yeah, no, I don't see anything else.
All right, so then the adjusted amount for Department 230 Public Works would be $332,487. Those in favor?
Second.
Okay, good, got a second, good. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What was that number again?
332,487. That's the adjustment that I proposed, so that's on the sheet. All right.
Okay, now we get to road construction.
Yeah, all right, so for highway, I'm gonna be proposing 3 adjustments to that, but I'll start with the full amount as requested, which is, so I'll make a motion to approve 240 in the amount of $2,336,118.
Second for discussion.
Okay. First amendment, I'm gonna make a motion that we reduce 5313 contracted services by 5,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none.
Is that the only thing?
No,
Okay.
I've got 2 more.
Okay.
Okay, so those in favor of that contracted services minus 5,000. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Make a motion that we reduce number 5404, road construction, by 133,000. The idea here is to take last year's number in road construction, we had 700,000. We want to keep 800. We want to give them a $100,000 increase, but we can't go up to 933. So my motion is to reduce 5404 by 133,000. Is there a second?
I'll second for discussion, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna suggest, I know we're doing well on road construction. And $700,000 we did well, and I understand his need, but given this total budget here, I'd like to reduce that to $750,000.
Okay, so you'll, Okay, so you wanna amend it to take another 50,000 out?
Right.
I'd like to amend it to 200,000. The same, funded the same amount, 700,000.
So you want a flat fund?
Yes.
So you wanna take, 233,000. Oh, right? That would leave it flat.
Wasn't it 700,000 last year?
Yeah, right, that's, if
And
we.
he was proposing 900,000 this year, is that right?
Right.
933.
Well, my amendment was to take out 133, so you want to take out an additional 100, right? And that.
No, I want to take a total of 200 from the 900.
Rich,
So
the
then that-
request is 933,000.
So you wanna take 233 out of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a list of roads for 933
Mhm.
this year, and then the following year, 916, 917. So, I mean, he's gonna extend the program out for another year.
Yeah, I understand. All right, I'll make the motion 200,000 to take out, and that'll leave it 733. Is that correct?
Yes.
What do you think?
I'll go along with that, yeah.
Okay, so I'll withdraw my amendment, I'll withdraw my motion.
All right.
Ready?
All right, I'll make a motion that we reduce the road construction account 5404
Mhm.
by $200,000. That would make it $733,000.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Now, the last item is an increase. I'll make a motion that we increase line 5405, which is capital, by $50,000. And the thought here is to provide 2 trucks. We know that there's a serious situation developing with the big heavy trucks. So we wanted to lease one and put one in capital. So the 50,000 would be the lease price for one of those.
The big ones.
Yeah.
And that would be recurring for how many years?
That would probably be 5 years.
5 years.
You know, the question comes down, okay.
Why not?
The question comes down to, 6 trucks, that is bothersome, you know what I mean? And I ask myself, the low boys, those are the ones that are really having problems with right now. And the question comes down to, the low boys are really used for snow plowing also. The big guys, that's when we really have a heavy storm. My thinking was, let's not go with the one big truck this year and go with 3 low boys.
Were you proposing any small trucks, Matt?
Yeah, Bob, we talked about 2 big trucks and 1 small one, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would have one here as a lease, one in the capital plan, and one small one in the capital plan.
Yeah. No, that's not you.
With the fire truck we were talking about, it was almost the same pricing for leasing versus bonding. It was around 3%.
Yeah, he was talking about 3.1%.
What about on this truck?
Peterburg was here, and they were looking at like 5.25, which is more expensive.
More expensive,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But the only thing is it puts it into the budget, in the operating budget. It's a little bit more money if you want to use this rationale, but you get to pay for it up front. Whereas what we've been doing with the short-term debt, we're getting rid of it, but we didn't pay for it through the budget, except for whatever we were paying down. Those items that went into that short-term debt really should have been in the budget, but we couldn't afford to do it back then. So, I mean, if you could theoretically get this up and get a good deal on the leasing, maybe you can pay for all your trucks on a current basis.
Yeah.
But I would think first you want to get the capital non-recurring to $1 million, get the roads up to 900,000, and then maybe work on something like this for either the fire trucks or the highway trucks.
Well, You wanna just leave the trucks in capital? I mean, we're not gonna get, he's not gonna get 6 trucks.
Oh, I know that.
No,
That's
no.
Rich, what do you think? I mean.
Well, you know, they had talked about 2 of the low boys are in bad shape, so we should replace the 2 low boys and at least 1 big truck, and maybe see what kind of deal we could get. Maybe
Is it cheaper
if
going
they
through
lease
other than
2
Peterbilt?
trucks from them, would it be a better deal, or we buy 2 trucks, would it be a better deal?
You know, I remember going back to Pierce with the fire trucks. They were gonna give you a deal on if you got 2 trucks,
Yeah,
all right? I'm not sure about Peterbilt. It may be a situation where, yeah, they're gonna sell 2, so. But you know what, a lot of times, 2 is nothing to them when they're selling the big ones.
so I don't know.
You know, if you buy 10, maybe they start to
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, I understand.
And the truck itself, the chassis part, you can buy through the HGAC agreement.
Yeah.
So it's already like a bid out price, so I don't know how much movement they would have on that anyway.
I don't know, right, that's.
I don't know, should we just pull that off?
What I think we should do is buy 2 big trucks and 2 little trucks.
Okay, but.
Purchase or for
Purchase. Well, unless there was some special deal to purchase them.
What's your current percentages to other leasing companies to work?
I would guess it's probably in the area of 5%, 5.5%. I mean, when we borrowed just recently for the police department, it was 3.1%. That was long-term. The short-term borrowing was 2%. It's because we had to roll the 3.8 million plus the $10 million we borrowed for the renovations to the schools.
So, all right, so what do we need to do for that line?
Well, this is a placeholder for leasing a truck, if you.
That's a big one.
Yeah, one big one, but if you wanna,
Well, it's buying 1 big one, right?
yeah, when we get
And-
to capital, we're gonna recommend buying 1 big one, buying 1 and leasing
All
1.
right, so is this further down in capital?
Yes.
All right, so we don't have to discuss it now then?
Well, we don't, but if you want to, we kinda have to discuss it, because if you wanna just recommend buying the trucks, then we would not put this 50,000 in. This is an amendment to line 5405.
Let's
I
see.
don't know if we can afford it.
The truck is 205, and if it's a 5-year lease, that's 250,000, that's $45,000 in leasing costs.
Well, I mean, that was, the 50,000 was an estimated price too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know, I'd like to see if we could buy the 2 trucks,
Okay.
2 and 2,
okay. All right,
is my proposal.
all right, then I'll withdraw the motion, and we will not add the 50,000 to the, did you second that, or did Paul?
Yeah, I'll second it. or
No,
whatever.
did you second the original one?
I don't
The
know.
amendment?
No, I'll
No,
second.
Second.
Okay,
I'll
never
second.
mind. Because I withdrew it. Okay, so with the other 2 amendments, are there any further changes to highway? Brad, what's the net amount now?
2,131,118. So
Okay.
2,131,118.
Okay, so, the adjusted motion then, 2,131,118. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries.
Just to let everyone know, so the way with OpenGov, if you log into it, you'll see a new column. When it used to be 17 actual, 18 actual, 19 budget, you'll see a new column that says 2020 requested. And that the old amount that was the requested amount that we were looking at is now all the changes you were making. So next time you log into OpenGov, you'll see any changes that were made tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right, moving on to 245, transfer station. I am going to make a motion. Let's see, make a motion that we, all right, same thing, I'm gonna put the full amount on, and then I'll make a second motion for an amendment. So the first motion is to approve in the requested amount of $224,625.
Second.
Okay, so now I'm gonna put a amendment on the floor to reduce 5313, contracted services, by 29,500.
And second for discussion.
Okay.
What is that?
What is it?
That's the building repairs that he asked for.
Yeah.
Well, Richfield just had to close theirs because it blew over or something. It was from the windstorm.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
thinking
then
that about ours.
The insurance company will pay for it.
Contracted services.
Ours is structurally sound. The reason they wanted to do this is to keep moisture, like rain, from blowing in, because the trash is weighed, it's weighed by the ton, but it's
I
a,
agree.
it's a minor problem. It's not something that needs to be done right now.
And it probably should be done through capital non-recurring.
Yeah, right. It's something that we can handle that way, so.
Okay.
All right, so on the amendment to reduce by 29,500, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that leaves an adjusted amount for Department 245 of 195,125. Any further discussion?
Yeah, my favorite.
Your favorite?
You know that our truck is failing,
Yes,
you know that the dumpsters are failing,
yes.
so we're gonna have to face up to it, whether, what do we wanna do with that operation? I'll leave it, I'll go along with this, but
Yeah.
we have some serious considerations going
Consideration.
forward.
Mhm,
All of the containers are just rusted out at the bottom.
mhm.
But didn't Eddie say that that was probably one of the best trucks in the fleet?
You've got, you're
Yeah,
kidding me.
he said something that, he did say something that it's been fixed or repaired or
He
something.
repaired it.
Or was he kidding?
Oh, he's gotta be kidding, because
I
that
don't
thing
know,
was.
I thought it was serious when
I thought he was
Well, he
too.
just spent 10 grand on it, he said.
Yeah.
Well,
You gotta look at that thing, the front fender, but one of it's chopped out. The driver's seat, you're sitting on springs. I mean, there's no, they throw a cushion on top of it. It's only going from here to Danbury.
Well, mechanically, maybe it's good.
Yeah, it might be,
Okay.
but, all of the trash containers, we don't know what the new organization's gonna do relative, except that they're gonna separate out glass.
yeah, that's a separate thing.
And if you start using that truck, I'll guarantee you, if you start crushing the glass,
Oh,
I don't know if it'll carry it. Now, but we've got some major considerations there as far as the steel containers and the truck itself.
Well, I actually have something to present to you when we're done with budget stuff, in a
Okay,
couple of
I
weeks.
think we spoke about that.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
but we can, I have a quote, Public Works gave me a quote of $6,000 to weld new bases into the containers that we
Yeah.
have. Winters Oak Ridge has given us a couple of new containers, free of charge. And if the truck broke down, and we do have to deal with the truck, but if it broke down now, they can come out and haul, it costs an extra
Yeah,
right.
200, yeah,
$500.
right.
hey, I got a question. You reduced that by what? 60,000?
No,
Well,
20
29.
Oh, 29, okay, all right.
29,500.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so any further questions on that? So on the net amount then of 195,125 for Department 245, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Okay, planning and zoning. I'll make a motion that we approve in the amount of 244,762.
Did they give any money back, Brad?
Pulling it up now.
I don't think so, I think she was short in contracted services.
Yeah, they were,
That's
they
engineering.
were
that's
over by
engineering.
8,000 because of the contracted services.
Yeah. By the way, did I say 240? I meant to say 250 if I misspoke. Department
250, yeah. Yeah, it's engineering.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't see any opportunity.
You have a second for that thing?
Uh,
Oh, I didn't.
Did you make the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All right, any further discussion on that one? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Department 260, building maintenance. We we have one adjustment in there, but I'll make a motion to approve the original amount, requested amount of $769,852.
Second for discussion.
Okay, now I'll put an amendment on the floor to reduce line 5207 by 7,800. All right, have a good night. Is there a second for that one?
Second for discussion.
Okay.
Just takes me a little time to. What was the line?
5207.
Oh, just maintenance in general. $136. And what are you reducing it by?
7,800. Brad, do you remember what?
It just made it a flat 160 instead of,
Yeah.
and that seemed more in line with the actuals.
Right.
2017's actuals were 155, 2018 was 140, but this account usually runs high.
I'd like to amend the motion to 10,000.
I'll second that.
Second? Okay. Brad, does that put him in too much trouble?
What was the motion, another 10?
Not another 10.
No,
just-
total.
Total 10.
Ah,
22.
no, that should be okay.
All right. Okay, so for the first time, I think in 10 years, I'm going to call for a vote on the amendment to the amendment. So we have a motion on the floor to amend my amendment from to reduce 5207 from 7,800 to an
10,000.
even 10,000. Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Are there any further adjustments to 260 that you want to put on the floor?
No.
So Brad, what's the,
759,852.
okay, so then Department 260 building maintenance, net amount to approve is 759,852. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Department 270, tree warden. Actually, we're gonna make an amendment to go up on that. The original amount was 95,400, so I'll make that motion.
Second.
So then I'm gonna put an amendment to adjust line 5313, contracted service by, and add 5,000 to that. Is there a second?
Second.
And that's strictly a public safety thing, because that account keeps getting overrun.
There's a lot of trees down along the roads.
Yeah, so, any further discussion?
No.
All right.
It's really a safety issue.
Yeah. So on the amendment to increase 5313 by 5,000, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. So the net amount for Department 270 then would be $100,400. Any further discussion?
No.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries.
I think we get a pretty good bargain for what they do out there.
Yeah, I agree.
If you hired someone to cut a tree down, it wouldn't take long to eat up that money,
That's true.
you know?
Department 290, emergency management. I'll put a motion on the floor. This was very minus, like a $400 increase. Put a motion on the floor to approve as requested at $28,580.
Second.
Any further discussion on that?
No.
Okay, hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Department 300, Fire Marshal, I'm not making any recommendations to change, so I'll put a motion on the floor to approve in the amount of $100,017.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye, that carries. Bethel Fire Department, number 310. Put a motion on the floor that we approve it, the amount requested of $192,125.
Second for discussion.
Okay, I'll put a motion on the floor to reduce line 5202, equipment and supplies, by $9,225.
Second for discussion.
Okay. Have to bring up.
Have they ever returned any money, Brad?
I think they usually do the
They do.
finances, hold on.
Well, this year they're gonna go over for
Yeah,
sure.
they could-
because
yeah,
of
the
some-
fire truck, yeah.
Yeah, the fire, in fact, they just brought in a big
bill.
bill this morning.
So in 2018, Bethel Fire was over by 10,000, and Stony Hill was under by 8,000. So Stony Hill returned 8,000.
This is what, 5202. 5202.
Yeah, 5202.
5202. And you're reducing it by 5,000? What's the factor?
9,225.
Do you know what that was for, Matt?
You moved something to capital non-recurring. You remember what that was, Brad?
It was just actually just kind of bringing it down a little bit closer to their
To the
current
actual-
level with giving them just a slight increase.
Okay.
So that's almost that whole line. The whole line is roughly 10,000.
No, that's the increase from the prior year. They went from, the prior year budget was 72,905,
Oh, 72 to, oh,
and
yeah, now it's
requested was-
73.
requested was 83,000.
So it's roughly 10,000.
Yeah.
But for the most part, what they did was they returned to their original proposed numbers for 18-19. And then the Board of Finance had cut them back last year, so that's why they were at 170, so they just went back to the original numbers with this budget, so 9,200.
So we're sitting at 182,900.
If we approve that reduction, yes, that we have on the floor. Okay, so I guess the question is, I had suggested that we reduce that line. That still gives them an increase over the prior year. The approved budget from the prior year was 170,250. So
Right.
this gives them
10,000.
Yeah, more than a 10,000, like a $12,000 increase.
Okay.
But do you guys think that's too tight? Is that too much? I mean, too much to take out? No?
It's equipment supplies. I don't know what was it? Well, you're splitting it from what it was to what they wanted and what you're giving them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll support it.
Okay. All right, so on the amendment to reduce 5202 by 9,225, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. So the amended amount then is 182,900 for Department 310. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. 320, Stony Hill Fire Department. Similar adjustment on a smaller base. So first I'll put a motion on the floor to approve the requested amount of $133,050.
Second for discussion.
Okay, then the amendment is I make a motion to reduce line 5202, equipment and supplies, by 2,800.
Second.
So this, same thing, we're just going on history, and this still gives them a slight increase over the prior year. Okay, any further discussion?
Just give me a second.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
In fact, after we do this one, I think we'll just take a quick 5-minute break.
Okay. So last year was 128,
Yeah,
and we're proposing,
130, 250.
and how much did we take out of line?
5202, 2,800.
Oh, okay. That's not more. Okay, I support it.
Okay, Paul, any other comments?
No, not at all.
Okay, so on the amendment to reduce equipment and supplies 5202 by 2,800, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. So on the amended amount for Department 320, Stony Hill Fire, make a motion to approve the amended amount of $130,250.
Second.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Okay.
When we do registrar's votes, that was the
Oh, registrar? Yeah, okay. All right, Department 330, I put a motion on the floor to approve in the requested amount of $99,650.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That carries. Okay. All
Motion for
right, so we'll recess,
5 minutes.
come back here in 5 minutes. Thank you.
I'll meet this, yeah.
See the pencil I'm using?
Excuse me.
Oh.
That one does.
This one's on.
You
Okay,
gotta
are we-
change
are we
the
on?
camera back. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it did, I'm sorry.
We never changed it, we just left the, we just muted the audio.
Okay, where did we leave off? We left off at,
Register 340, boards
340.
and commissions.
Okay. Okay, Department 340, boards and commissions. I'll put a motion on the floor to approve as requested, 59,250.
Second.
Okay, and there's really not much to talk
Well,
about.
I got a question for Brad. Where do we stand with that, Brad?
So boards and commission in 2018 returned $16,000.
All right, but now they got the other board on there, so it's.
Yeah,
okay, all right.
yeah.
How
that's-
much did they return?
16, let me pull up a prior
15,000?
year.
Yeah, but now they hit the charter revisions.
Yeah.
And progress of that.
They'll probably spend 10 to 15.
Yeah, so
on that.
is there an increase to board?
It was, but it wasn't that much.
Wasn't that much? 'Cause we actually,
56 to 59.
yeah. In fact, it might have been, we actually budgeted for charter to start earlier.
We did.
So that's probably why they returned 15 last year.
Charter revision was at 12.5.
Yeah, okay.
What did they spend so far?
Oh, they just started
They
meeting
just,
the
yeah, not much.
first of
They've
the
only
year.
had, what, five
December
meetings?
was their first meetings, I think, for
Yeah.
November.
Yeah, I don't see any room on that one. All right, so we have a motion on the floor for 59,250. Any further discussion?
No.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. 350, Health Department.
Oh, boy.
I'll never get
Okay, I'll start with the overall request. This is,
He hasn't done the minutes yet.
No.
no, 3,
381.
okay, so the overall request, I do have an amendment. The overall request is to approve in the requested amount of 381,515. Is there a second?
Second for discussion.
Okay, and then my suggested amendment, which I'll put a motion, I'll make it a motion, to reduce contracted services 5313 by 40,656.
Second for discussion.
Okay. The rationale here is that moves her department up from 318,097 up to 340,859. That gives her a full salary to hire a sanitarian. She had asked for the sanitarian plus part-timers. She's been getting by with just the part-timers, so what we're asking her to do is to hire the sanitarian and then have the sanitarian fill in the part-time work. Because right now, it almost looks like we're trying to go up in like one full head count plus a half, and right now she's getting by on the half, so I know she needs the help, but we're gonna ask the sanitarian to pick up that load, a full-time person.
Just a discussion on, I know she has some other part-time people that go out and do food inspections, restaurants inspections like that. She wasn't referring to that as the other part-time help that she needed, extension.
No, but they get charged to the sanitarian's account.
Pardon?
They get charged, they're employees of the town of Bethel, even though they're part-time. all right?
Yeah.
And they get charged to the sanitarian account.
Oh, to the account, oh, so the people who go out and
And do
inspect,
those other inspections.
those other, it's charged to that account.
Yeah, now, we don't understand why the sanitarian, if there's one hired, can't do that other work too.
That still leaves her with some part-time budget anyway,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah.
She still has the part-time budget.
And if she's really strapped, I mean, she can always come to the Board of Finance and say she needs.
So what was the proposal to reduce it
To
by?
reduce,
By
5313 by 40,656.
So currently she was at 318, she went at 381, and you're proposing 340.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to explain it to her. And us.
I didn't know.
Let's see, what's the south?
Was, 381.
Well, Brad and Bob, let me, I'm just thinking over my notes on that, is if we reduce contracted services by 40,000, how much does that leave her for other part-time work? Is there anything left in there for that? Or does that just leave the mosquito control and some of the other contracted stuff?
Let me pull that schedule in there.
I think it's taken out all of those categories of part-time help that she was, she detailed in the budget.
I think we need to leave something in there.
All right.
Well, it does, hold on, let me give you a full number in a second. You're looking to reduce by 4656. So it still leaves her 46,500 for food inspector, sanitary, and part-time people. She currently has a budget of 34,000
And
in contracted, so it'd still be a $12,000 increase to her food inspector and sanitarian for part-timers.
But that still leaves in the salary line, full-time for sanitarian, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so she's actually getting the ability to hire full-time sanitarian plus a little bit more in the part-time, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
but you gotta remember that the part-timers now are getting charged to the full-time sanitarian.
Yeah.
So, but it does give her an extra $32,000 for more staff, whether it's a full-time sanitarian, and if she can't find one, which she's had issues with, it gives her, she could ramp up with more part-timers if she could find them.
Okay, all right, so she's getting the ability to still do the full-time sanitarian and some.
Yeah, she might,
retain some
if she gets the full-time sanitarian, she'll probably have to dial back on her part-time sanitarians.
Yeah.
But you would think that with a full-time sanitarian, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
I'm kind of familiar with, they'll do surprise inspections on a Sunday morning at the healthcare
yeah,
and things like that. I would make a motion to reduce
To reduce the reduction?
Yeah, your reduction by 10,000, so for a total would be 30 then. Give it a little bit more.
okay, well, no, that's fine, you know what, I can restate the motion. So I'll withdraw the amendment and restate it. I had suggested 40,656, what do you want to make?
Make it 30,656.
Okay.
And then it would be 350. 350,859.
Okay, all right. So I'll make that motion, you second it, right?
Second, yes.
Okay. You go on with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so on the amendment to reduce 5313 contracted services by 30,656, if you agree, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries, so then the amended amount for Department 350 is 350,859, correct?
Correct.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Okay, now we get to the fun stuff. 360, Police Department. I did not finalize any recommendations. I wanted just to discuss that in this meeting. So I'll start with a motion to approve the department as requested in the amount of $4,795,263.
Second.
Okay. I think at the very least, we need to remove one police car.
Yes.
Yes.
And the related material, the stuff, right? Right, can you give us a cost on that?
Yep. So the car itself, they budgeted 29,820, and then each vehicle changeover is 5,700, for a total of 35,520.
Now,
What line is that on, Brad, please?
5403, capital equipment.
now, the captain did caution about taking out the full amount because if we were gonna take out a car because there's a model changeover and Ford is raising the price.
You can't afford everything,
Yeah.
period.
All right, well, I would propose that we remove one car and the related accessories. Does that work for you guys?
That's a start.
Yeah, that's,
Okay. All right, then I'll make a motion that we reduce Department 5403 capital equipment by 35,500. Well, should we just make it around 35,000?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay, 35,000.
Okay.
second.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries.
Okay.
What else?
Let's start with 201. And what we have is building and furniture, minor additions, replacement, repairs, $1,000. I suggest we take that out. It's a new building.
Okay, let me get there, hold on.
What was the amount you're taking out?
1,000.
Yeah, I think that's just because there's additional, like, it's small items, but waste paper baskets and,
They should have furnished it.
That should have, I mean, they could still take that out of the construction money. It's not closed out, and that's furnishings.
but I think there's a bunch of little items like that around the
Officer
building.
supplies needed. Do we have any other kind of breakdown of what officer supplies are needed?
Look at the documents, that might be in there. So
Because
what-
it's under office expenses, so,
Oh, that's 5201,
yeah.
correct?
201.
So they have 13,900 for office supplies and postage, 1,200 for prisoners' expenses, awards and incentives, 1,250, building and furniture, 1,000, K-9 control, 7,700.
What was the last one, Brad?
K-9 control,
Oh, all right, so there's other things in there, it's just not,
Yeah.
I'll take
And
out,
it's 25,000, yeah.
yeah.
I'll take out 1,000 for that building and furniture.
Okay, is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay,
Second.
all right. So the motion is to reduce 5201 by 1,000?
Right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
That carries.
Let's go to account number 206.
Equipment maintenance?
Yeah. You know, when I look at, is this a real number? General supplies, flares, flashlights, batteries, water, blankets, batteries, fire extinguishers, and janitorial. I thought we have a janitor contract.
Yeah, we do. But,
But, you know.
Well, fire extinguishers might be for the cars and things
Yeah, I
like that, not the
understand that.
building. but-
Batteries for flashlights, I understand that, flares, I understand. The janitorial thing bothers me.
I don't think the service that we have in here goes there. Do you know, Brad?
It does.
It does?
And it comes out of building maintenance contract.
So it's not theirs.
Yeah.
so what is that, equipment and supplies?
Yeah.
That account only went up $100.
I know I'm splitting hairs here, but you know, I'm looking at this total budget.
Yeah, I don't really see any opportunity to
I would
reduce
say,
it.
you know, $200 at least for janitorial. I don't know what that janitorial stuff means.
I don't, you're at
Is that in
206,
case a
right?
prisoner gets sick or something, they have to call somebody in?
What's this?
The janitorial thing.
Well, maybe somebody gets sick and they have that stuff to throw
Yeah,
down.
they might have to, bring
Yeah.
somebody in to, other than normal cleaning people, yeah.
Paul, where are you seeing the $200 for janitorial?
Yeah.
I came up with that.
All right.
This is part of that account.
I mean, the cost, I think they just hose out.
You know what,
Would you like to know the breakdown of what's in equipment and
Yeah,
supplies?
Probably,
It's
yeah,
item
cells, but
number
you-
2,
Yeah.
under 206.
Oh, all right, so under general, I see.
Yeah,
what you're
general
saying.
supplies, flares, flashlights, batteries, water, blankets, batteries, again, fire extinguishers and janitorial thing.
I got you.
well, you might have just used the wrong word.
Yeah, it's,
I'd hate to, I don't really think that's building janitorial. I don't even know why why he used that word. 'Cause it's-
It could be as simple as paper towels for the break rooms and stuff like that.
yeah,
Or somebody gets sick, like Richie said,
Yeah.
and they have that.
They've got-
hazmat
throw
has to
down.
come in or something.
yeah, they've got they
A
have to.
blood spill or
All right,
something like that.
I'll back off of that one.
Okay,
Okay, let's go down to Armory, 255.
255, yep. Yeah, I don't see any opportunity there
Ammunition,
either. That's flat,
It's
The
flat.
whole account is flat.
yeah.
Okay.
And actually, he wanted to ask for some more tasers, but
Yeah, that was in the.
I think that's in capital,
Not recurring.
non-recurring.
All right.
Yeah, all those other departments are essentially flat. Clothing allowance, because they've got one extra person, 0.8%. Then you get contracted services, so the recording systems, the storage systems, Lexus investigations, translation services. That's, I don't see how we can. I think the only thing we can cut is cars.
I did make one, did I?
Yeah, we did one.
All right, that's it.
Okay, so what's the adjusted amount, Brad?
It is. Let me just make sure I have this right. Come on. 4,759,263.
262?
263.
263. Okay, adjusted amount for Department 360 of $4,759,263. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Department 380, Parks and Recreation. I will put a motion on the floor that we approve in the amount of $1,524,597. And is there a second?
Second for discussion.
And keep in mind that almost all of that increase is in programming that is self-supporting. The capital stuff is already pulled over in CNR.
And all this.
Yeah, so there's really, I didn't see anything that we could do with this one. seeing as how they have a lot to do with a pretty lean budget as it is, considering the,
380.
the number of calls we get.
Just give me a moment.
So their program, they're actually over $100,000 in the plus, because the programs are up to 500,000, and that's an increase over the prior year, but their revenue is projected to come in at 600,000, and it's probably gonna be higher than that, because they're already, for the current year, 75,000 in the plus. So I think this one is a matter of explaining to the voters that it looks like it's a big increase, but that increase pays for itself.
What about the improvements to the field renovations, park improvements? Is up 119%, but
Yeah, that's,
that's parks maintenance and repairs.
yeah, okay, I have to go back to the.
57,000 versus
That's in
7,026.
315? She's got some fields with the dugouts, remember she mentioned?
Yes.
315.
She's gotta put the 2 feet of fencing above it, and each one is
Right.
like $9,000.
Right, that's
And it
what it
becomes a
is.
safety issue if a foul
Yeah.
ball comes down here. You know.
9,000 each roughly.
Well, yeah, it's 9,000, I
18,
think.
20 is 46. 926. Say 30. 30, 56. 30, 56. 18, 20, 26, 46. I'll make a motion to take line 5315, reduce it by $7,000.
All right.
What is it now?
That's where the field improvements, fitness equipment and tree work.
Well, it's the field renovations, park improvements, and tree work.
And fitness equipment.
Yeah, the fitness stations that
That they were
planning
putting
that-
along somewhere.
Yeah, well, you know that path that goes around the park? They put.
The perimeter around.
The perimeter, the walking path?
Oh, at McHour?
Yeah. Those
No,
are,
wait a minute.
I don't walk very.
57,000.
I agree.
His motion is to reduce it to 50,000.
You second my motion?
Yes.
okay. All right, so what is? Okay, so your motion was to remove 7,000
Yes.
from that, so that,
It was line 5315,
okay,
was it?
all right. All right, so that,
To
okay,
remove how much?
5315,
7,000.
7,000.
okay. All right, any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Give me the grand total now.
Oh, so-
1,517,597. So 1,517,597.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So on the amended amount, 1,517,597, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Okay, 390, employee benefits. I'll make a motion that we approve in the requested amount of $6,192,677. That's one of those untouchables.
Second.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Item 40, or account 405, intragovernment agency subsidies. I make a motion that we approve in the amount of $472,132.
A second for discussion.
And that's also one that is tied up with our memberships in CCM and cost, the CART bill back for a prorated amount.
There's nothing we can really cut on that, is there?
No. So, any further discussion on that one?
No.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That carries. Department 410, utilities. There's one amendment in there, but I'll put the full amount first. Put a motion on the floor to approve the amount of $2,605,009.
Second for discussion.
And my amendment is to reduce line 5322, the streetlights, by 25,000.
That's because we've gone to the LEDs?
Correct. And the utilization, the history is dropping on that, so that's, it might still, we might still have a little extra budget in there, but it seems pretty safe.
Was the 2 million, was that an accurate number, Raf?
What's that?
On the street lighting, on the utility charges? For the 2,518,000, was there any return at the end of the account?
I don't think so. I need to-
You gotta remember too that we have to pay out of this account, the Amoresco lease,
Okay,
which is about 265, 270,000 a year.
okay.
So even if there was a reduction in electric, I mean, you're gonna be charging that there.
Well, no, what my question was.
Is how much is left over?
Was,
So 2018, this account's over by 50,000.
oh, all right.
In part because when we went to renew our electric through Constellation, the rate went up. We had been locked into a really good rate, and
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to amend line 5322 by reducing it from 100,000 to 75,000. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it carries. So the amended amount for the Department 410 is then $2,580,009.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it carries. 420. Miscellaneous charges and transfers. I make a motion that we fund in the requested amount of $1,030,071. Is there a second?
Second for discussion.
Okay, and this again is, I wouldn't recommend changing it. This is where the negotiation contingencies lie.
Oh, okay.
And you never know if you're gonna have a contract go to arbitration and, things like that. So I think we shouldn't touch that one. Okay, any other discussion on that?
No.
Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Senior Center, Department 430. Make a motion that we fund in the amount of $249,112.
Second for discussion.
Okay.
Was there,
So remind me, how much, she has new programs coming on board, and how much new revenue did she project on that?
so she's always had about $20,000 worth of expenses in her activities that didn't bring in any revenue.
Yeah.
So on the 60,000, we have budgeted $36,000 worth of revenue.
Okay.
If it goes up to 80,000, we're gonna bump our revenue number up to 56,000. If it stays at 60,000, we're still gonna bump the revenue up probably to 40 instead of 56. So the $20,000 in activity has roughly about $16,000 equivalent in revenue.
Okay.
And I would recommend we leave this alone. The senior center, how many members did she say she has? Like registered members, 300, 400?
It's probably in her narrative. I can look
It's,
I thought it was more than that.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
1,500.
700 or
Yeah.
something. It was-
oh, I'm just thinking of the ones who pay. You're
Yeah.
right, from out of town. Yeah, this is a growing population, and there is more revenue that comes in with it. It's not a huge line.
927 members as of January of 19.
Yeah, that's quadrupled in the last few years. I would recommend we just leave that as it is. So any further discussion on that?
No.
Are we hearing none? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That carries. And the last one before we do capital is 440 debt service. Boy, we would really love to change this.
Cut that one.
You wanna cut $1 million out of here?
How much, Bob, there? You say what?
You can't do anything about this one.
All right, so I'll put a motion on the floor that we approve at the projected amount of $5,219,133. Painful, isn't it? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That carries.
And just going back to the library, not the library, but the senior center, I think at the town meeting or the hearing that we have to explain to the people that the increase in programs are paid back.
Yes.
That, because someone sees that, it's a big number, and they're gonna say, oh, her budget increased by $60,000+.
Yeah, yes, well.
I don't know if we need to do a narrative and hand it out, maybe
I think-
on some of the things.
I think we have to do it on that and on Park and Rec.
Yeah,
So,
right,
because you can see a big jump in program costs, but then,
right, yeah.
the revenue that comes in behind it. So I think we have
I
to
mean,
do a
it's
whole.
better, more that we explain it to the public, the better
Correct.
off I think we might be. Okay.
Okay, so Brad, what's the grand total?
So you need the two pieces. So the Board of Ed you already approved at the 46,465,473.
Yep.
The town side, which includes the Board of Ed maintenance and the debt, is 32,179,143. I'll repeat it, 32,179,143.
Give me the Board of Ed too again, I missed it.
Alright, so the Board of Ed is 46,465,473 for a total of 78,644,616. So 78,644,616.
Okay.
So
Alright.
traditionally, you guys approve the 32
Yeah.
number and then the total.
Okay, so I'll put a motion on the floor that we approve the town plus 460 account grand total of $32,179,143.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It carries. So that leads to a grand total for the 2019-2020 Town of Bethel budget, combined budget of $78,644,616. I'll make that motion.
Second. Then
Okay.
if you would please repeat that number.
$78,644,616. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 And you've already voted on the Board of Ed.
What's that? Yeah, we already voted on Board of Ed before you got here. Okay.
So basically, we reduced, let's see, 78, 79, $500,000 we took out.
Yeah, that's,
That's what we took. And we went through that pretty quick.
yeah. Oops.
Sure. So.
is capital.
No, that was a breakdown of the budget. We drew all the adjustments by categories.
Okay.
That was just Beyonce had what they had.
Do you have anything for capital, or should I just take a pull up here?
We're gonna bring it up here.
I don't remember which one it was in.
Can we get the Cohen, thing I think? Watch it, almost all afternoon.
It is not a proud moment for America.
Did I tell you it was the box in the basement? So she had picked it up, and I set it up.
All right, this is in finance for us?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
in finance.
Because I still can't read those numbers in there.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Oh.
You can make this bigger.
Finance. 120.
Hey, Brad, I'm missing something. Because when we were noodling around with the budget, didn't we have the town side down by 256,000?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's more than that down now, because we didn't add back the 50,000 for the lease.
Yeah, but when I do the subtraction from the grand total number down to the new one, I only, because we didn't take out anything out of Board of Ed.
Yeah.
So we did 200,000, so we should be at 475,000 or 450,000?
Over 500,000, because of the 50,000 not going back in.
Yeah. I come up, unless I'm so caffeine deprived I'm doing this wrong, I come up with a 375,000 difference.
No, it can't be.
That's,
No. Wait a minute. All right, go in here and do 2 splits. Oh, okay.
because I updated this as we went up.
Yeah.
So, Matt, I show that we are down 632,000.
Okay, that makes more sense. I probably wrote something down wrong here. You've got Excel and I've got my weak brain, so,
And as I said earlier, OpenGov's updated.
yeah.
So if you logged in OpenGov, you could see all those. All right, so now the capital.
So if you go back to capital and do 2 splits, go up to the top and split on what
You mean freeze?
Yeah, right there. And then
Yeah.
you split all the way over to M, past the pink.
4%.
So we just have
Yeah.
the
well,
out years open.
I'll just hide them.
It does?
Here, there.
That's 2017 actual.
Yeah. And now make this
was the
bigger.
budget number from last year.
Ah,
Which we had done,
Yeah, too old, you didn't give me a heart attack like that.
There you go. There you go. Probably go a little bit bigger.
yeah, but we had done that one sheet for Matt, I can't find it.
here.
Yeah, actually, the other day, we set this up for February 26th.
Yeah, but I can't find that one now. I think maybe it just saved on just that computer.
Oh.
Which I may be able to get to, but I'm worried about messing up the recording.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the one that's on the finance and the Chromebooks is what you see here,
Yeah.
before we made any changes. MK adjustment, go to that one.
Yeah, that's the little one, that's just the expenses. I had done a capital MK adjustment, which I don't see in here.
5, 2, 4, equal. Clear it. I know I'm getting punchy.
Me too.
Start all over. 78.
Brad, do you have an updated capital?
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's what
working
he's
on.
trying to find.
Pulling them now. All right, I am risking a recording.
Let's just do the other thing. I'm just gonna keep on screwing up here. 78, 644, 626, 74, 652.
All right, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna declare this an official recess.
Hummus in there too.
What's that?
Hummus in there too.
So what did Bobby say about the snow, did?
Yeah, not a lot. $632,000.
Yeah. What's the password for this one? What if you could put it back in? I gotta run upstairs.
What do you mean? 632 is the adjustments that we had?
Town side, including board bed, and that's 632,000.
5.5% increase.
5 reduction in short-term debt payments. So we really have a $57,000 reduction in other kinds of expenses.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm not sure we should be
Exercise my kidneys.
blowing our horns.
5.4%.
Yeah, but the 575
increase.
is only because,
5.34 is what I came up with.
Okay, with 5.4.
Well, yeah.
but the 575 is the difference between last year and this year.
Right. And that is the majority of the decrease on the town side, is all I'm saying. Because the
Yeah.
decrease in the town side of 632,000 includes the decrease in the short-term debt payment of 575. So on the town side, we reduced spending by 57,000, which is still a reduction, but it's not the 632.
Yeah, but it could have been even higher if we didn't make those, the $600,000 adjustment.
No, but we still have short-term debt.
Well, I know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know if you can, I know what you're trying to say
It was in
there.
that number, though, that's, if we're looking to do apples to apples, it was in that number.
But that short-term, that number changes every year. It's just that we've kept it flat at 4 million.
Pieces of chicken with some hummus on it.
We've kept it flat at 4 million.
But just within short-term debt.
We've gone down. We should have kept, we should have started at the 4 million and gone up from there, but we didn't. No, I know what you're saying, but, I mean, look, that 600,000 is 600,000 in cuts from the budget
Including.
that was proposed.
Including 575 cut in short-term debt repayment.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
If you add these up,
Well, that. Right,
that should add up to 632, right?
it does.
So those are adjustments that they just did tonight.
But included in debt service? Oh, you mean, the 632 is just tonight?
Yeah,
Oh, just tonight?
just tonight, yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
tonight.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought the 632
No.
was this from last year.
Oh, I see, no.
I'm sorry, I got it.
You know?
We gotta pay it off, especially now when Powell today, right, said that he thinks recession is possible late 20, early 21. Fudge.
We'll have it done by then. Trust me.
From your lipstick.
we up and running again, or? Are we set? Dean?
We're set.
All right, for the highway trucks, I would put a motion on the floor that we buy two large what are they? Two large, not Sterling, but
The
Peterbilt's. Two
Okay.
large Peterbilt's and two medium weight dump trucks. The Peterbilt's are 205 each, and the lightweight, or the medium weight low boys are 114 each. So that would be 228,000 and
I'm sorry, 2 of each,
Well, wait a minute.
because it shows 3 medium-duty truck.
right, well, that's what they want, but my proposal is to buy two.
2. And then 2 of the Class 8 42,000.
Well, you take the 205, bring that back across to here.
Okay.
See the 205 that's over here?
Uh-huh,
We had pushed that out 1 year, so bring it back into this line.
okay. Okay.
And then you got the other one further
Rich,
down.
can you amend your
Yeah.
motion not to say,
Pardon?
not to call it a Peterbilt, because they will go out.
Oh,
to bid
all
with
right,
it.
okay, two large,
Class A.
Class A,
Class eight.
Class 8, 42,000 GCW trucks. Is that okay to say that?
Yeah.
At 205,000.
At
It may
205,000.
end up being Peterbilt, but
Yeah, no, I understand.
we'll
Okay.
bid it.
Yeah.
So are you doing,
And then, I shouldn't say the Ford either then, probably, huh?
Well, wait a minute, before we
Okay.
proceed, do you want to vote on those separately?
yeah.
We can.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you put a motion on to replace, to purchase two Class 8 42,000 gross vehicle weight trucks?
So
At-
moved.
Okay. At a cost not to exceed 410,000.
Correct.
Okay. Did you second it, right?
Second, yeah.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now if you look over in the column that says CNR, capital non-recurring, Brad, that 114,000, that's for one medium duty, right?
Correct.
And then down below, there's a medium duty utility truck with plow for 52.
Yes.
All right, I was looking to also buy another, all right, so that's in capital non-recurring for one medium-sized truck.
Yeah,
I'd like to make a motion that we include another medium dump truck for 114,000 in that,
in the capital.
in the
Capital
capital.
non-recurring?
No,
No,
no
in the
capital.
In capital?
So you want to put one in capital?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. All right, I'll second that. Okay,
Because Ed said that there's, the two low boys they have a lot of mechanical problems, so that gets rid of the two low boys.
yeah, okay. All right, all right, so we're not voting on capital non-recurring, but, so you added one medium duty truck at 114,000 to the capital line, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, did you second that?
Second, yeah.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries.
Now, on the medium utility truck with plow,
Yeah,
whose truck are they replacing?
It's Greg's truck, the red BL52, the little red truck out here.
Oh, the little
But
truck?
he's putting a plow on this one, he's making it bigger, 250.
Mhm.
So that I guess if they need it in a storm, they can use it. Because
It-
Greg
it-
sometimes plows.
Okay, is the truck in bad shape now?
This
The
thing?
Kurt's truck?
Yeah, yeah.
Ken, this new truck, was it gonna be accommodated for a plow attachment?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking with plow.
With plow.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
priced
That's
out.
the 52,000 with plow.
yeah, and we've planned that for capital non-recurring.
Oh, capital, okay.
Yeah.
All right, then so it's set.
Yeah, so we voted on those, so so we've got one medium duty truck and two heavy duty trucks in the capital, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go down to track resurfacing. 125, is that Terry's latest number?
Yeah, we called her,
Okay,
and she said 125 is a good number.
okay, so I'll put a motion on the floor to approve resurfacing the Bethel High School track at $125,000.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the next one is boilers. I'll make a motion that we fund boiler replacement for Bethel High School in the amount of $1 million.
Second.
Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. So that's it. The only thing we have left to talk about is the training range for the police station. I hate to do these things as a one-off, but I have no confidence that that's even the right number. I think it's gonna be far less than that, actually.
Well, when I put this in, Steve said, just put in $750 as a placeholder.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be less, but, you know, that's our best guess right now.
Yeah, I had heard 650, but that's, you know, it's here or there.
Yeah, I think with Rizzo now, being that they're on the property, and they're already mobilized, they can do it a little bit cheaper.
Well, they gave us a
Well-
quote,
Okay,
a hard quote of $649.
okay.
And there's, again, there should be contingency, we don't know how much there is, but we're banking on at least 100.
Right, but that was, if my understanding is correct, the police department went out and got those numbers from Rizzo, not the building department, not the building committee.
Okay.
So there might be other things that the building committee is aware that the police department wasn't aware of. I don't know.
The question comes down to, how much can this town afford at this time?
Yeah.
And that police department isn't finished yet. That's my concern.
Mhm.
Well, what do you guys want to do with that?
If you take it off, we'll do it as a one-off during the year.
If we do it one-off, if it's a feasible thing to do during the year.
Okay,
Yeah, right now,
okay.
we gotta pass.
I mean, you figure, say it's 750,000, you already got 800,000, right? So that's $1.5 million that the project was over budgeted.
Right.
I mean,
Mhm.
and they split it, I think if they went for the whole $1.5 million, it wouldn't have passed because it would have had been a referendum.
Well, that's not really an over budget amount though, because remember in the adjusted number, there was no, the training
The
rate
second
was
referendum, they
taken
didn't
out.
have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
second- So we always knew that was.
the
gonna-
equipment in the range was not in there.
Correct.
Right.
Right, talk about wishful thinking. I remember that we were banking on having enough contingency to do most of that. So that turns out that didn't
Right.
work.
There was, you know, the site, some unforeseen things at the site that cost 200,000 plus there that they weren't aware of. So,
Okay, well, that concludes the capital then.
okay.
So I think you still need to vote on the total capital amount.
Yep, correct?
Do you
All
want
right,
to
what-
get these minutes out of the way?
Yeah, I forgot to do that before. We'll do that. So, yeah, so what's the total capital number?
1,649,000.
1649000.
1,649,000.
All right.
Give it to me again, you guys went too fast, the years.
1,649,000.
Yeah,
Zeros.
okay, and, okay, that's it.
Yep. Okay, so I'll put a motion on the floor to approve the total capital recommendation as approved individually in a total of $1,649,000.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
That carries. So, we have to approve some minutes. So I will ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of Thursday, February 21st.
Second.
Okay, I just made that motion then. He seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. And I'll put a motion on the floor to approve minutes of the special joint meeting of Thursday, February 21st.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Yeah, there were 2 meetings that day. All right, thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.